Hey YouTube, my name is Nick, and if you've seen my other original Xbox video regarding Forza Motorsport, you would know that I was able to link 5 original Xboxes together over a LAN connection to have them all render one version of Forza Motorsport using its feature known as the Network Cockpit. And so that led me to wonder, since Forza Motorsport is actually supported in the original Xbox backwards compatibility on Xbox 360, I wanted to see if it was also possible to do this using at least 3 Xbox 360 consoles. So, as you can see on the left and right screens, I already have the Network Cockpit screens up, but in case you didn't watch that video and want to know how this is possible, all you have to do is go down to Options, and then when you get to the credits, you want to grab your Xbox 360 controller in this case, press in the left thumbstick and pull it down, and that will show the hidden Network Cockpit settings tab. And that's where you can set your settings here. If you want more details about what you need and how this all works, then you can watch my other video that I posted a little while ago. So without further ado, I haven't tested this yet, but I'm going to assume that this will work. I'm going to press X to apply and save all the settings. I actually have 3 Xbox 360 controllers here. I have my standard black one. I have this Halo 3 edition one. It might be kind of dark in this room, but it's the, I think it's the Covenant one. Oh, yeah, okay, my controller timed out because I took too long. I wasn't doing any inputs. Okay, anyway, I have my Halo 3 edition one. Oh, maybe the batteries are going in this one. I might need to replace them because it disconnected again. Anyway, yeah, I got that controller, and I also have this original white controller, which is controlling the left one. So I'm just going to hit X on all the controllers, and we'll see what happens. Right now, the 2 left displays are saying connecting as right and left. So I figured out what was the cause for why the RGH couldn't connect to the other systems over LAN, and the reason is because if you're running the Aurora dashboard on any RGH system, it has a module known as Nova, which for some reason disables the ability for the Xbox 360 to connect over LAN to other Xbox 360s and original Xboxes in the OG Xbox backwards compatible games. So in order to disable this module known as Nova from an RGH Xbox 360 that's running the Aurora dashboard, what you have to do is you have to press the start button on your controller, which is that little right arrow next to the Xbox 360 logo. And what you want to do is you'll be on this Assets tab, and you want to scroll down to Modules, and here you'll see the Nova module. And what you want to do is you want to untick both of these settings, always load on boot, and this enabled button, and then click unload. And you'll know that you unloaded Nova when you compare it to, for example, these two. They say active right next to it, and this one no longer says active. And that's it. That's all you need to do in order to re-enable LAN on an RGH Xbox 360. And now we'll continue on with the video. While I was able to get all 3 displays connected together, there is one minor issue, and I think this has to come down to how the Xbox 360 emulates the game. But it seems like it can happen where the left and right screen might fall out of sync with the center screen because the Xbox 360 has to emulate doing the multi-screen setup, and that may cause some slowdown. And so it might not be as perfectly synced as when you use original Xboxes instead of Xbox 360s. So I'm going to demonstrate what this looks like right now, and obviously it does work between original Xbox and Xbox 360 units. They can connect all together over LAN, as you will see right now. So you can even have a combination of, you know, different systems, and they all work together, just like you would expect when running System Link. But as for this driver cockpit setup, it might have some minor issues when running the Xbox 360 as the host. The host display, that is. So yeah, you might notice... Oh, it might have just froze actually. When I ran it with 2 displays, like even just 2 displays, it was, I think it just froze. It totally locked up. I was able to get it to work with one original Xbox and one 360, and I'm just going to show you what that looks like at the minimum, just to show you that it does work and the 2 systems can communicate. But do keep in mind that it's not quite good, because the problem is that, again, the 360 is having to emulate this game. So when you run it through the network cockpit feature over LAN, it also slows down the emulation a little because it can't quite handle it. And while it does do it, the problem is you run into desync, and I'll show you exactly what I mean, and the frame rate kind of lowers further. It's not quite as good as when you try to do it on only original Xbox systems, and you'll see what I mean in a sec. So right there, if you look at the starting line countdown timer or whatever, it kind of ticked down a little bit slower than you expect. The RPM needle is kind of a little bit slow, but when you look at the original Xbox screen and it rendering the left side, it looks smooth as butter, whereas when you look at the Xbox 360's display, it's kind of choppy and not quite as smooth. And again, that has to deal with how the Xbox 360 is emulating it right now and how it is struggling. So with 2 displays like this, it seems like it works, like you could definitely use it. It's not as good as when you run it with original Xbox consoles, but it does function, but granted at the bare minimum. And like I showed you before, when I tried doing it with 3 systems, it just totally crashed out and froze up. You can definitely see right now, like if you looked at the checkered walls, like I already passed the checkered walls and there was a few seconds delay for the original Xbox to basically time it with the 360. Even the stands there, you can see it's behind by a few seconds. So that's basically the minor issue with it, is that you will get some delay. But again, it does work, but just at the bare minimum. I failed to brake around that corner. That was my fault. And that was the finish line. So again, 2 displays it works, 3 seems to crash out all the units. But one last thing I want to try is I want to see what happens if I were to basically attempt to run this with the latest Xbox One spoofed emulator in Zifu. Because Zifu is the name of the Xbox 360 emulator known as Xenon Fusion. And that's what Microsoft internally called the original Xbox emulator that runs on the 360. So I restarted both Xboxes, and the left one says it is connected, so now it should be synced and work fine. Let's see if it runs any better than it does on a stock unit. So again, we're running Zifu 2021C. I'll take this Porsche. Or Porsche, or however you pronounce it. Yeah, okay, there we go, it syncs. Let's see if the center screen runs any better. It seems slightly better. Yeah, it maybe seems slightly faster, like ever so slightly faster. So this might also sync slightly better. Ooh, nope, nope, nope. That is horribly slowed down. It seemed like it was better for a second there, but no, this is still bad. I'm gonna try one more time syncing up the third display after this race, but I imagine this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work well. Like, oh man, it's the 360. I think its frame rate is just tanking so hard. I think it also doesn't help that I'm in a really warm room right now, because a lot of heat is being generated, so it's maybe causing it to be slower than expected. But I also do just think that's just a result of the emulator, because the original Xbox is handling it just fine, despite being in the same room, so I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think it's having some emulation issues, because I can hear like the engine cutting in and out of the sound. So again, it works, but not as well as if you were to do this with pure original Xbox systems. So yeah, the only way this would work better would be if this emulator were improved upon. But it's still quite impressive to see this working in the first place, even if it's chugging along and having issues. It's awesome. But definitely if I were going to do this, I would just use original Xbox units. I bet you it'll cause the systems to freeze again if I try with that third system, but I'm going to do it anyway. I just want to know. It may even make a difference with a second RGH system. It might run better, but I really don't know. I also just noticed like there's maybe some artifacting in the rear view camera, or the rear view mirror. Like at the top of the center screen. Like I saw black lines in the rear view mirror. Alright, so I'm going to sync up the display on the right. And we'll see if it crashes again. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh, is this gonna work? Wait for it. It might actually go. I might wait a sec. Oh, that's so slow. Nope, as soon as you rev it up, it just gets stuck. It gets stuck, it freezes, you're done. So yeah, there you go. That's just how it works. I am curious to know, like, what would happen if I just sat and waited and let all the cars pass me. Would it then still work because there's less to render? I'm not really sure, but clearly, just from what you can see right now, you honestly can't do it with with at least 2 Xbox 360 units. Like, probably you can't get away with it. Like 3 units in total. I should actually see very quick if you could just do it with the middle and the right view and no original Xbox. Like, does that work? Because, like, is the problem that it's 2 360s, or is the problem that it's 3 units in total and it's not working? Yeah, so that rightmost one just can't sync right now. I don't know why. I just want to see if the middle one still experiences the slowdown. See, look how the original Xbox does not lag at all. And even the 360 seems to be doing better performance-wise. So you know what I think? I think if you have at least the original Xbox doing the hosting, like as the main view, then it would work just fine with the 360. That's what it seems like. And it doesn't seem to matter which Zifu version you use, but that's kind of like a broad claim because I only tested 2021C, and I think the default, which was basically no spoofing at all. So you would have to test all the other versions to really find out which would be the most ideal if you're going to use an RGH system. But it seems like when the RGH system is not the host, it seems to run fine at full speed. So you could have a combination of an original Xbox and 360s, and it seems like it would run just fine. Because maybe the problem is that with when the 360 is the host and it's lagging behind in the emulation, and the original Xbox is too fast, then what happens is, well, then you get that desync, right? And hence why it maybe couldn't handle 3 of them when it was hosting, because it was just too much information at once, perhaps, that it couldn't handle the emulator, so it crashes. But who knows? I'm just totally speculating. I don't know anything about why exactly it was doing what it did. So that's what it seems anyway. So that's pretty much the end of this video. If you found it interesting, thank you very much for watching, and until next time.